Hey, Snow.
Hey, MJ.
So we're going to be shipping up to Boston in about 5 months.
I wish it was March already.
I wish it was like right now.
Tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
We've been waiting 2 years for this.
That's what's gonna make it even better. We gotta think that way, right?
Yeah, we got planned this
Can
all
make it even better.
So, we got Tricky. Sydney. you haven't actually.
Go girls.
Yes.
You're outnumbered.
Sid. Yeah, we haven't actually. Well, you called once, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were actually like the first person I interviewed. But I was using this. It was windy at the BLM PERS test, and right. It was like it came out like shit. You couldn't hear anything. So yeah,
windy that day.
Yeah, fucking going to Boston. Cannot wait. We're probably gonna do like daily episodes up there, probably short ones. You know.
I'm gonna mostly be talking about the food because that's what I do when I travel. That's my favorite thing about traveling is eating the foods from the different areas, sampling all of them. And I haven't been to Boston yet, so.
You know, I figured out since the last podcast on Sunday, Howard Stern rips us off. He does. The very next day, he was talking about Paul McCartney. We talked about Paul McCartney. He was talking about Pete Davidson. We talked about Pete Davidson.
Okay, but can I just say this from being a Howard listener? We can't go claiming stuff like this because I don't want to get torn down by him.
do.
I'm just going to tell him this. I'm going to be like, sir, we learned it from listening to you. That's where we got this, all right? Like those little drug commercials.
Hey, and the other thing before we get into our subjects, you know, I finally opened up a voice line for us, so people can leave us voicemails.
Oh.
And I got a couple.
Okay, do share.
Yeah,
share.
Let's see if I can get this to work. The first one was Barry from Chicago.
Oh, okay. Hi, Barry.
Reality Redemption, in my opinion, is the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts. You are both true patriots.
All right. Thank you, Barry.
Yeah. That voice sounds very familiar.
It sounds familiar. You know, I don't know.
Love you, Barry.
I can't quite place it, but I'm glad he listens.
Right.
The other one is from a guy named Junior from Texas. Now, I didn't think we would have listeners in Texas, number one, much less somebody called Junior.
Maybe Austin.
Yeah, because Austin's pretty cool.
Is he grown?
Austin's the cool part.
I know Junior is like,
and San Antonio. San Antonio's cool too.
My fellow Texan is an idiot. Is a communist. Bilson can screw himself. And I listen to your podcast every week. I needed redemption after that whole weapons of mass destruction thing. Huh?
Thank you, Junior.
Yeah.
We're here to redeem.
That one was a little bit easier to figure out.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What was going on this week? Fucking Karen Rogers. How I wish I came up with that joke.
Oh, I know.
I'm so out of
And
the loops.
It was right in front of our faces.
It was. Now, we'll just start with this. If you've been vaccinated, not vaccinated, that's fine. But don't go say you're immunized when you didn't get the vaccination and then go around your teammates, not wearing your mask, not following the protocols. Right. And obviously, here's my biggest problem with that is we're going to talk about a little bit of hypocrisy tonight. The hypocrisy of shut up and play football. Get out there and perform for me. But they're cheering on Karen Rogers when they would tear down Colin Kaepernick for making a statement.
Do you think it has something to do with skin color?
Oh, yeah, it definitely
This beautiful stuff called melanin.
Yeah, so I mean, like, they can't say a word now because COVID-19 is deadly. And if she's going to walk around and give COVID-19, that's deadly. Him kneeling was not deadly. It wasn't taking away anybody's life. So they can't. That's
disrespecting America.
Yeah. Well, America. Black people are part of America. So
they built America, fools.
Yeah, they built us. Yeah.
And like
The
America's about freedom of speech.
Right. The marijuana they smoke came from the black community, so they gotta stop.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't have a problem with Aaron Rodgers not getting it, or if he's going to call Joe Rogan for medical advice, whatever, take ivermectin, fine. But just follow the protocols. Go to the Halloween party, wear the mask, do what you're supposed to do. Tell your teammates. Now, if your teammates are concerned, hey, I've been immunized. Well, he wasn't lying, but he wasn't telling the truth.
Because he was immunized as a kid like we were?
No, he was immunized.
I think
meaning
that's why
that
he said immunized instead of
yeah, it was purposely done.
Right.
Mhm.
I think that, I mean, he knew what he was doing.
But at the same time, you know, we people on one side or the other shouldn't vilify him either to the point that they're doing it. You know, just because it just makes this one side look bad, our side look bad.
Right.
Okay, just take the fine. The NFL fined him. Move on. Okay, he'll be back on Sunday night to play the Seahawks. I hope he gets his ass kicked.
I know.
And
You know, I've got great news though, because I heard from, according to Congressman Ted Lieu, he was on the radio, and he was talking about how they're coming out with, they were talking about the Karen Rodgers situation, and that they're going to be coming out with a new vaccine that's called Novavax that is like, because like the two Moderna and Pfizer's are the mRNA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then if you don't want to take that one, fine. Then there's Johnson & Johnson, which is more like the traditional ones. And there's still people who don't want to take that. So it's like they're coming out with a new one, the Novavax, which is protein-based. So I'm like, okay, will that make the juice heads take it, though, since
No.
they're all about getting protein in their bodies? I mean, come on.
it's all about whether you believe this is a serious issue or not.
There's other nuances. Like, I haven't been vaccinated yet because I have really bad, like, anaphylactic reactions to, like, different antibiotics and other medications, and we don't ever know when it's going to hit. And they've warned, like, this, if you have an allergic reaction to these vaccinations, you might die.
Yeah, but yours is legit. That's the argument that they were making about Karen Rodgers.
Well,
No, they were saying if you are in fact actually allergic to one of the ingredients in the vaccine, then what is it? And he can't say what it is.
Right.
'cause
He
he's
just-
full of
no,
shit.
no.
Because he just
doesn't
said
wanna-
he was allergic.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't know. I could be allergic, and if I wind up allergic,
And
I'll die.
how does
No,
he
but
know?
there, yeah,
if
and there's
he's
some
not-
people who have discussed it with their doctors,
Yeah.
Well-
and they legitimately cannot get the vaccine.
Yeah, my
Aaron-
doctor just said they
Right.
wanted to wait and see a little
Yeah.
bit before I did it.
Aaron-
yeah, and
Aaron-
I totally understand that.
to into
you know?
Sydney, Aaron knows because he consulted Joe Rogan. That's why he knows.
That's his doctor, right?
Yeah.
God bless the road.
Got
Sounds
Dr. Joe
like
Rogan.
That's why I'm
Facebook
like,
doctor.
They're always talking about how they're like in love with like getting mass amounts of protein in their body. I'm like, all right, will this help you then?
All right.
If you're
Is
Yeah.
Joe Rogan even a certified doctor? That's the
No.
question.
No,
exactly.
he was
He's
a comedian
he was a
An actor
commentator on
and
UFC.
commentator on
Yeah,
UFC.
there's no way. There's no
And he went on, because the inspiration for this podcast is the Opie and Anthony show. Joe Rogan used to go on the Opie and Anthony show. He saw what a success it was. Hey, you just, like we do, we just turn the mics on, shoot the shit. And he turned that into a podcast. Now, at first, he gave the podcast a Sirius XM radio, and they didn't pay him, but they played it. And he grew it from there. And now he's, for a commentator on a radio, podcast, whatever.
He's
He-
like
he-
the highest paid podcaster,
he's
right?
he's the highest highest
podcaster.
one now,
Right.
you know. But he stole this from Opie and Anthony, you know. But he's a smart guy. I don't always agree with his views.
Yeah,
But
I don't
he's-
dislike
yeah.
Joe Rogan.
He
Whatever.
can be really fun or informative
Or
at times.
influential. He's pretty positive, but he's not a doctor.
Right.
No, you know,
He shouldn't be out there giving medical advice. Bottom
that's
line,
like above his pay grade.
he should be telling people you should talk to your doctor. Like
Right.
Tricky talks to her doctor. That's what you should be doing to find out
Right.
what's best for you. Don't
Well,
fucking listen to other people.
well,
Don't even listen to me. Don't fucking listen to me.
our other
Don't listen to him.
Karen, a point about that though, our other Karen that is now on the county supervisors
That looks like Karen Rogers. That Karen
Yeah.
with less hair.
with less hair. Oh, much less hair than.
Yeah, a lot of us.
Okay.
Hey, Karen, Supervisor Karen, maybe you should grow your hair out.
Not like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers' hair looks horrendous.
No, I don't think it'll turn out. I think he has to shave his head. That's okay.
Okay,
Sorry, that was a mean joke.
but the point being is, the other Karen said, "Well, I believe in people's right to consult your doctor, but in this particular area, and a lot of other rural areas around the country, I'm sure it's the same, is people can't afford to consult a doctor because they can't afford health care.
Yeah, the healthcare is out here as well.
So what you're going to do is you're going to go on.
Or they have to wait like 6
But
months.
I
to
would
see their
imagine, don't you think there's a pretty good, unless they're not taking advantage of the situation, which they should, if they're in that situation, don't you think there's a good amount of people here that maybe qualify for Medicaid that should?
That's socialist.
No, so the welfare system right now, they've made it to where they're a call center. You can't go into the office and talk to
For
them anymore.
Medicaid?
For Medicaid, you have
For
to
anyone.
call on the phone. If you're not on the phone at 7:00 in the morning, you will all day be kicked off because their call logs are so full.
That's ridiculous.
I have a friend it's taken her a week to get through to apply for her benefits.
That is so
They do
ridiculous.
it online and on the phone now, so it's harder for them. And then for COVID vaccines, they don't have a doctor on site for KRMC for people to ask questions if they decide they want to go in and get it. And you have to make appointments to go in and get it. Mm-hmm.
And the problem
They
being,
make it hard on people out there.
Well,
And-
most of them, they should, if they think they want to get it, most people should just go get it because it's not everybody has your situation. Trudy.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's pretty safe and effective for most people. That's my opinion, but I should not act like Joe Rogan either.
no,
right?
and we're not
I'm not
giving medical
giving-
advice
Yeah, I'm
here.
not giving
I
medical advice.
have MS, and I was skeptical about it, and so was my doctor. But when the Delta variant came out and was spreading here in Kingman, he told me to get it. And the second injection made me sick, but only for a week. But that beats dying.
Yeah.
It beats me getting it and dying, and my
Right.
kids not having a mom.
Yeah, like there was a study recently they came out with and said if you don't have the vaccine versus being vaccinated, you're 20 times more likely to die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a very good
people.
there is a very good survival rate. We should say that too. You know
Yeah.
that it's not.
Your
It's
symptoms
like in the
won't
90% that you
Mhm.
won't die if you get it anyways,
Right.
whether either or. But still.
Well, we shouldn't be promoting vaccines here because, and I think this makes Dave Chappelle very happy that someone else is getting the heat now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who's getting the heat?
I don't. Who is it?
Big Bird.
Oh,
Say it isn't.
that's right.
so.
He's a communist now.
Big Bird. Yeah, Big Bird's a communist.
How dare they? That is where children learn their first.
Right.
Wow.
That's like preschool
And-
almost.
and-
Disregard
and
the
they have been-
1970s.
They have been doing that. This Sesame Street came out in
They've
like
done it
69.
Forever.
I love Sesame
well,
Street.
okay.
I loved it when I was a kid.
But-
The only one I
but-
didn't like was the Count. He creeped me out. I did not like the Count.
But here's the thing, though. Like, the Muppets have been promoting vaccine and health choices for children
I know.
since the beginning.
They used to do those songs like
In
"Wash Your Hands."
Yeah, in
after going
1970s
to-
something. I think they even have like almost the same exact skit of Big Bird walking out and explaining how important it was to get vaccines for measles, mumps, and chickenpox. And he got the vaccine and said,
I know.
Right.
How
And
is
the
that
only
any
dirty
communist?
one is Oscar the Grouch, right?
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
all got their
Because
vaccines.
he lives in a trash can.
Hey, I got to make this point, though, because regardless of what people that listen to this think, we actually do some show prep, and we talk back and forth. We text message ideas back and forth. And we were talking about doing a skit with Muppets and doing a video on it.
Right.
And Brett Terhune, remember when he made that video and he was downgrading us?
We're late because we have real jobs. That's why we couldn't do it.
And we were planning that. And he comes in, swoops in, and he makes a viral video of a Muppet speaking up against vaccines.
But it was awesome.
It was
probably
funny as
one
fuck.
of his best videos ever. It was the best.
I wanted to do one, but
Production.
living in Kingman, we don't have cool stores here, and I wanted to get a Stadler and Wardorf puppets and like have them up in the balcony screaming anti-vax stuff at the Muppets on stage.
Yeah, because they would be like.
Speaking of, the last 2 days they've had protests in front of Smith's about vaccines.
I saw one that was in front of.
My body, my choice.
They might have been kicked out because they were in front of Unisource today.
Were they? Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw them this
Why
morning.
don't you co-op something else? Like, why do they always co-op the underrepresented, the
Our state,
underserved,
though,
the
but our
oppressed?
state doesn't have a mandate. That's the thing. Is
Like,
I'm talking about co-op somebody
not-
else's slogan. Like,
yeah.
why pick on somebody that's already oppressed?
But
Why
if you
are
ask
they-
them about abortion,
Right.
they're
That's what I'm
pro-life.
talking
Like,
about.
Yeah.
why are they now you got like my wheels turning. I'm like, why are they out there protesting when it's not like you guys
Mandated
said, it's not a mandate. It's
needed.
like, then don't go
Like,
in and get it.
because
Like,
Fox News tells them
There's
to.
a lot. There's a law.
it's hilarious.
Ducey signed a law that
They didn't get that
nobody
memo.
they were not allowed to mandate it in our state.
Uh-huh.
Like jobs, of course, they can
Tucker
mandate it.
Carlson hasn't talked about
but
JC.
They can't mandate it within like county workers and state workers. They can't mandate it. And these people are out there, and it would make sense if there was a mandate. I'd be like, okay, cool, that's what you believe. But there's no mandate, and it doesn't make sense. It's a waste of time. It's not productive.
They're like, that's crazy.
Do your thing, waste your time. But I'd like to drive by and yell, get a job, just like they did to me and Shauna
Yeah.
when we
You
were protesting
should.
on a Sunday.
You should.
We were protesting in front of Jeff Lake's office,
On a Sunday.
years ago on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And people are yelling at us, get a
I know.
job. I'm like,
You should drive by and do it. Hey,
it means we have good jobs if we're not working on Sunday.
dude, turnabout is fair play. You should have fucking went ahead. We probably still can drive by them and do that.
Right?
Yeah.
There's still a guy that hangs out in front of CVS, and he's still protesting the election.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
out there with his flag every day.
I know who he is. He's on Facebook.
He's
all the
kind
time.
of young,
Max
too.
Gibbons. Yeah.
He's not even old. He's a young
But he's a
person.
respectable guy. Like he has his beliefs and stuff. He doesn't ever like target anybody or like personal attacks.
Sure,
he
if
has
you've got
pretty good
time to
debates.
wait.
Yeah,
do
but
your thing,
yeah, but
Max Gibbons, do
what
your
happened
thing.
to
Yeah.
so and so won? Get over it.
Yeah.
I have another question on
If
their,
you don't
on
like
their
it,
protest.
Leave.
Right? I have another question on their protest. Are they also out there with their AR-15s doing the protest?
We're gonna
or-
get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's jump back to Big Bird because there's a couple things on that.
That must have been a big needle.
If you're like say Ted Cruz and you're always bitching about cancel culture, why do you go after a oversized bird puppet?
Easy target, easy pickings.
Because maybe he's jealous that Big Bird can like fly
They
to
don't wanna
Mexico,
take-
fly south anytime he wants.
They don't want to
and
take
he
on
gets in
somebody of
trouble
their
for it.
own size.
I don't know. I'm like trying to think of what.
Maybe Big Bird just got more airtime than him.
Who sent out the tweet like, "Hey, Big Bird, a big bird that can't fly, but Ted Cruz can fly away in the middle of a state,
Oh
emergency."
yeah, right.
Is what would be.
You know?
Yeah, that's just nuts.
It's just that's all right. We'll try and do a lightning round here. I do have some. Let's see if we can pull it up.
A lightning round.
I need a producer. That's what I need. Okay. The Muppets were pretty distraught about this. Okay, and particularly Ernie. From Ernie and Bert.
Mm-hmm.
And I have I have audio of
Okay.
what happened. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Now he's going to be talking about how Ted Cruz makes him angry and he can't sleep.
Hey, Bert. Are you asleep, Bert?
is it?
Well, I can't sleep, Bert. I can't fall asleep.
Well, count.
Count. What do you mean, count?
I mean, just lie there and count. Imagine them one at a time until they get so sleepy you just fall asleep. Okay?
Okay, I'll try it, Bert. All right, let's see.
I think he's counting Republicans in Congress.
Wouldn't it be all of them?
See, that's
I don't know
one.
how many there are.
What was that?
That's just my first. Don't worry, Bert. Just go in back to sleep. I'm just counting.
It's a lot of sheep to count. We only have to count Cinema and Mansion. We've got 2 sheep to count.
Another one. That makes 2.
And cinema makes it easy with her colors.
Another one. That makes
I know,
3.
right?
You take her out of the hurry.
You know, if this audio gets out, you know, because we don't want to call it Ernie, you know, the kids will be devastated if you hear Ernie, you know, calling, you know, Cruz, whatever is being beeped out there. Yeah. Yeah, you know, probably one of those.
A lot more afraid about the vaccination than.
Probably one of those beeps is Paul Gosar.
Oh, he's like the biggest
Yeah,
fucking sheep of all.
Yeah, we don't,
Gosh,
and
yeah.
we don't have to beep here.
And he's ours.
We're so
Yeah,
happy to
guys,
play
This
with.
is what we get.
Yes, and Mr. Gosar, we respectfully invite you onto the podcast to discuss this
Or
with
your
us.
family.
Or we want. Yeah. Oh, we should get the family on.
Just don't bring your swords or knives or whatever it was that you
Yeah.
killed AOC with.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right. Okay. So you're offended by a fucking muppet who's encouraging kids to stay healthy.
But then
But
you
then
make
you-
anime.
You make anime about killing a fellow congressperson.
A woman.
How does he get that? But how does he get away with that? There was a dude in New York that was holding a Trump head that looked like he had been beheaded.
Or even
Kathy Griffin.
Yeah,
the comedian.
they got in trouble for that. But
She like
They
got
can't.
shunned.
They
forever.
canceled her tour.
She got canceled.
She got
Yeah.
sued too. She
Yeah.
got
And-
sued.
I mean, she
The
got
secret-
immediately fucking
The Secret
canceled.
Service investigated her for that.
Yeah.
Now, where's the Secret Service
For
investigating Paul
AOC.
Gosar?
Yeah.
I know. I mean,
can't-
maybe we don't know everything
Well-
yet, but what it's like. What I don't understand is how are they not even making an announcement like this is extremely inappropriate? How does like local police not go and
Because
arrest
Right.
that's the
him?
culture we live in now.
And
He
his,
should,
and
he
his,
should be arrested, or she should be like, you
and-
know what? I want him arrested. I
and
want him
his reaction was,
charges.
"It's just a cartoon. Get over it." So it's just a fucking big stuffed bird encouraging kids to stay healthy. Get over it.
Yeah, how is
It's
that
the
a threat? How is
hypocrisy.
Big Bird a threat then?
Right.
Yeah. How's Big Bird a communist? You know, and I guess the point is,
Sorry.
He doesn't
We're-
even work unless there's like a hand up his ass, right?
Exactly.
yeah,
I think it's just these old men in Congress. They talk so much trash on AOC because she's so young and she's intelligent and she's strong and she don't give a crap what they say about her. She comes back at them. In fact, they don't like that it's a younger, strong woman who's in Congress who's rising quickly. You know, they
Yeah.
don't. They
Well,
have
and-
to. They have to be.
They don't like that the demographic is changing. I mean,
Mhm.
and also
The
she's
change,
right.
yeah.
Well,
She's-
that,
Latino, so
Mhm.
it's like,
well,
She's
Or
progressive.
Latina.
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
that's what they're doing. That's why they're changing all the voting laws, because they know they're losing. Their base is getting older.
Mhm.
They're going to become dinosaurs.
smaller.
A lot of their
It's going to be more progressive eventually. Now, here's where I have a problem. I don't think we should go for the whole progressive route
no.
so soon.
No.
Just baby steps
Mhm.
into it. The infrastructure bill passing, a good thing.
Mhm.
But then, the 16 Republicans agree with an infrastructure bill which will create jobs, create better roads, internet for, high-speed internet for
I'm
everybody.
sorry. I also I disagree slightly because, and I will say that this is like one of the times that I do agree with Joel Manchin. No, I think that I think the progressive agenda I agree with him. We need to vote more of those dinosaurs out, even on our own side. Get them out of there. Get them out and get people in that are going to make real change for the people, not for the corporations.
Right. And the programs are actually widely popular in polling, but it's the rural
They're
areas.
popular on the Republican side.
But you can't.
Too.
But you can't tell the base here, and I'm sure it's a lot of the places around the country. They just go, well, that's socialism, and they beat that down. Hey, can you explain what that is? If you ask them, hey, what is critical race theory? They cannot explain it.
Because here's the thing, critical race theory isn't even taught in elementary or high school.
No,
it is a college course.
Right.
So we don't, newsflash assholes, we don't have free fucking college yet. So how do you figure that it's a threat?
Here it is. Like,
if we're gonna talk common sense.
It's kind of basic though.
Common sense.
I hate to say this. I hate to say this because I don't want to be divisive. But the better educated people tend to be lean to the left. So those people become professors, and they don't talk about this in their classrooms, but they go, well, this professor is Democrat, so he must be indoctrinating our youth. And that's what it becomes. And people will believe Tucker Carlson.
The way that I believe about, I think you're absolutely spot on about the more educated folks tend to have more left views. There are a lot of very well-educated folks on the right.
Right.
And the only thing, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, so I'm glad that you brought it up. The only thing I can come up with is there are also people who hate humanity. Like they have the Ayn Rand thing, where it's the rugged individualism and all that. But she was merely just she hated humanity. She hated other people. That's what it boiled down to.
Well, and also they're looking to make money, protect their profits, and they run big companies. Now, big companies do not want to get taxed. So they want to protect their profits, and that's why you're going to vote Republican.
But,
and they do know that what the game is. If you want to protect your profits, divide and conquer, and that's why you put out this messaging to the sheep that Ernie was bitching at. That if you divide and conquer, and you get the sheep to follow you, like socialism. Well, that's socialism. High-speed internet, socialism. Why? Why is that socialism? Or people are bitching now about the cost of fuel, and I guess around this area, people are rationing diesel fuel. You can only buy 60 gallons right now because there's a diesel shortage because OPEC and all that other bullshit that has nothing to do with the president. If you fucking research it, it has nothing to do with the president. The president can't control that because it's a free market, because people don't want government interference.
We live in a free market society.
Right.
Yeah, it's like they're screaming now for regulations. I don't understand this.
But if we had green energy, we wouldn't be so dependent on high fuel costs.
Exactly.
They are such bullshit. It's like, I don't want the government's help. Oh wait, but when I want what I want for myself, then then it's like, where is the fucking government? Oh, now I hate the government. They never step in to fucking help me. It's just the party of hypocrisy.
Or the people that are on the social programs, because I hear this all the time because I deal with the public. I'm on a fixed income. Oh, so you're on government assistance. Well, that's okay for you to be on government assistance, but it's not okay for inner city people, say, to be on government assistance.
I have a good point on this one, right? So the folks on the right hate people on welfare who are living off of the system, not paying taxes, blah, blah, blah. What about all the rich folks who their children inherit their wealth, don't get taxed on that? Isn't that the same thing? They didn't earn that money.
Well,
they're not the ones that earned
but
it.
It's not just the poor people who are on welfare either, because I know of people who, like her boyfriend makes 3 figures a year, and because they aren't married and she claims to make her food separately, she claims food stamps for 4 children, even though he makes 3 figures a year on his company,
Well, that's fraud.
because they're not married.
No, yeah, they can get away with
Yeah,
it because they're not married.
because they're not married. They
Well,
don't
I
share
mean,
children.
yeah, certain things in the system should be fixed.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. So, I mean, there's, and those are the kind of people that are like, oh, these people are
Yeah,
lazy and on welfare. Well, you're on welfare too. So, I mean, you're lazy.
I know, and I know somebody too that brags about the fact that they can claim to be a C corp or whatever,
Mhm.
and so they're millionaires. They're like straight up millionaires. But since they have this C corp, they can only pay them. They can do it where they can only give themselves like a $40,000 a year salary, so they can get money back too. On top of all of it, when they file their taxes, they make millions of dollars, but they're even getting money back. And these two claim to be proud libertarians. I'm like, do you guys even libertarians are supposed to be against taking any handout from the government?
Well, that's why.
Like, you're bullshit.
That's why can't we just come up with like a flat tax and it's across the board and there's no loopholes?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
you pay like what you pay.
Right.
Except for like, there should be exceptions because like the really, really poor, obviously they don't have like any kind of extra money to pay, you know? Like, I mean, we're talking extreme poverty.
But if you're on a flat tax, then just tax it on what you spend.
Yeah.
We should be taxed on
Well,
income and spending. That's still
Right,
taxation.
They would still be taxed on sales tax. I mean, all of us.
But that's what I'm
Okay,
saying. Make it
that-
a flat
yeah.
rate on what you spend. That way, it affects the people who are wealthy and can spend more.
Mhm.
More.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna make this one quick.
Kyle.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Now
I'm just gonna abstain.
now here's a. I'm not defending him.
Mhm.
Okay. It does look like in some of the videos that people were going after him. Now, but here's my article. This is hypocrisy, though. People always claim if you see a mass shooting, see an active shooter, I would do anything. I would jump in front of it. Well, that's sort of what these people were doing.
Mhm.
Now, I'm also going to say this. If it was a person of color at a BLM protest, would the police just let him walk by
Right.
with an
Yeah.
AR-15?
Change the name from
A
like
17-year-old.
Kyle to Kareem. Do that.
A 17-year-old,
Would it still be the same?
a 17-year-old with an AR-15 that his friend illegally bought for him, that his mother drove him across state lines so he could go, quote unquote, clean graffiti.
Well,
No, so he could
so-
protect his
so the-
neighborhood. It's not his
the
neighborhood.
original-
No, but Judge Janine from Fox News was defending him and saying he was a good kid. He was there to clean up graffiti with an AR-15.
with it, yeah, exactly. So today I watched it live, and they came out with, because before they said that the cameras at the area that he supposedly shot the first guy, because he kept saying that guy attacked him, that's why he shot him, but the cameras weren't working.
Mhm.
Somebody had a drone above the entire protest, and they were able to zoom in on that drone, and it shows Kyle walking around the area with a fire extinguisher. He sets it down. This guy's doing nothing, not doing anything with him. Intentionally picks up his gun and points it at the guy, and then the guy like threw a bag at him to get him to stop, and he shot him.
Didn't
The first guy that he
Did-
killed.
First guy,
And-
and then when they were all running
Okay.
at him, they were trying to disarm him. And he killed the
didn't
second guy.
didn't
Yeah.
didn't they claim in the drone footage though that the guy that he first shot pulled a gun on him?
Yeah, but they found out it was a plastic bag. He threw a plastic bag with stuff in it at him.
Well, what I'm wondering is, how is this judge not, like, why are they not
This judge is an
petitioning
asshole.
to get a new
Biased.
judge? Yeah, why are they
He's
not, how
biased.
can they not, like, get a new judge to oversee it? Because he's already sitting there saying, he said in the beginning, before the trial even started, that they are not to call these people protesters, that they are to call them, refer to them as rioters and looters, or not to call them victims.
Yeah.
But you have to refer to them as rioters and looters. Like, he's a
They're-
known extreme, like, Trump humper. the judge, like, I don't understand
and I
how
know-
the trial is even going on. It's
He-
like, I'd be like, we need a new judge.
Yeah, he seemed very irritated today when they showed him that footage
I know.
because he had
yeah.
to put it in court because it was obvious there was no reason not
He
to
was
kick it out of court.
He was trying to yell at the prosecution,
He
and
was
he's
pissed.
like stumbling over his fucking
Mhm.
words, and I'm like, this guy doesn't know his head from his ass.
Mhm.
I'm like, I've always been raised and grew up thinking that judges were supposed to be impartial
That's
and
kinda-
unbiased, and this is the first time I've ever seen like a high profile case where you're like, if this isn't fucking biased, I don't know what is. Like,
Did
this
you-
is not, how is this guy even
Oh,
a
my
judge?
Did you see when he was going to break for lunch today? He made an Asian joke.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah,
No, I didn't
Yeah,
see
so-
that.
it
some-
was racist.
Yes, something about hey, we're breaking for lunch. The Asian food isn't showing up because it's stuck in a ship out in
Yeah.
off Long Beach.
Yeah.
Something to that effect.
Mhm.
You know, just God. This
I know
ki-
one thing. Like at first, I had a little bit of hope because he did dismiss somebody or juror who had made a joke about the Kyle Rittenhouse kind of situation, and somebody had heard it and reported it to him. He did dismiss that juror.
No,
but-
wasn't that a joke about the guy who got shot in Georgia?
Yeah, about him being
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah.
That's okay, this is starting to remind me of that song though, that Reba McEntire song. It's like the judge in the town has bloodstains on his head. This guy's, he's one of them.
Yeah,
He's
a lot of
probably
them
a
do.
fucking oath keeper or
So
something.
the majority of judges are prosecutors at one point. So they're very
Right.
conservative. They're very but if somebody's doing something within their conservative views, whether it's murder or stealing, whatever, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's okay for you,
I'm
but
really
not anybody else.
I'm really starting to get the thought, like, I mean, like you said, I fully believe too that most of them are, you know, but like we know that we also do end up with judges who have liberal views too because of how our Supreme Court is.
Right.
But I'm like, there needs to be a better vetting process for judges. Like, this is like, maybe this will wake people up, and this could be a next issue where it's like, well, whoa, wait a second, what is the actual vetting process, just to be like the low level judges before you even get as high as the Supreme Court.
Right, yeah.
Like, what, there are so many broken things about, I mean, this is it's my home, it's my country, you know, but there's so much shit that is so fucking broken.
Yeah.
Well, the running theme that we've have is I don't see how we're going to get back to a common ground between.
I don't either.
Sure.
That's why I try to I don't even argue anymore. I'm just like, well, here's things we can agree on. Food. Let's talk about food. Like, let's talk about things, because there are people that I personally know that I don't like the way that they see things in the political world. Don't like a thing about it, but it's like, I like them as people, and they're nice people, and they're not everyone who's on the right is like we need to stop categorizing them as all being
Right,
racist,
and that
you know, and that it's easy to put
was
them
my
under the umbrella.
that was my point about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's, I found when I'm on social media, I'm saying like conservatives, not all, because I do have friends that are
Right.
conservative and are not like that. You know,
Right.
I don't want them to feel attacked. I want them to know I love them.
But I wish that more of them would stand up against their own and say, look, they seem to not do that. It seems to me like the left, and a good example of this is our own Congress, like, they seem to just huddle together and they accept whatever any of them say. The right is very accepting of their own.
It's a
They
Stepford
are.
wife mentality is what it is.
Yeah.
Stepford mentality.
They're like very accepting of their own. They don't accept us at all or anything we believe in, but they're very accepting of their own. And it's like, because not all of them in that party are as extreme as
Right.
Marjorie Trailer Green or like Gosar or
Right.
you know.
Well,
there are normal ones.
We had a private conversation with, we had a guest that's conservative, and this was off the record, and he was conservative, but he's one of the conservatives that you can talk about, and you have the same concerns. We have all the same concerns, and we had a great conversation about that.
And quite honestly, he's one of the people who really made me tone down me getting all over the place on stuff, like, because I'm like, dude, this guy is like a really good person. He's got beliefs that are not like yours because he's just like you, but has different views.
Yeah,
you know,
he sees the world differently, right?
Yeah, like whether it's how you're in your growing up environment or whatever, but it's like I would never want to hate this person. This person is a smart person. This person is a caring person. This person also was like, that was absolutely horrible, the events that took place on January 6th.
Oh, yeah. A lot of
And
conservatives
it's
actually
ridiculous.
Yeah,
they
and
were
getting
against
back to hypocrisy,
Mhm.
and this isn't really a political viewpoint, but if you are pissed off at what happened in Portland and the riots, then you have to be pissed. Because I was just like, fuck, these people shouldn't be
You're
burning
stupid,
shit.
Yeah, they should.
Okay, I feel the same way.
Arrest the people that
Yeah.
looted
Then why
and
aren't you
broke into places.
if you're pissed off about this, then why aren't you pissed off about the Capitol? It's the same thing,
Right? Yeah.
But here's one more quick jump back to Kyle, then we'll get on a different subject. Whenever there's like a shooting and stuff like that, they're like, hey, especially involving like Columbine, a younger kid, where were the parents? Why aren't the parents doing something?
She should be charged.
She drove them.
definitely.
Child endangerment. Right there.
She knew he has an AR-15. Number one, if you're a parent and my kid shows up with an AR-15 that his friend bought for him, I'd be like, what the fuck
I'd
are you
take
doing?
that. I would take
Right.
it away from him.
I would be going to whoever's parents of that kid.
Yeah.
I would be like, your fucking kid, like, we need to have a serious fucking talk. Like,
This
this
is
Yeah.
a serious
no joke.
weapon for a child to have.
Yeah,
Like, it's
and-
serious.
Put him in a bad position that he's 17 years old, okay? I'll chalk it up to a little bit, not defending him. He's not smart enough. And I'm not down because he's studying nursing at Arizona State. I'm not saying he's fucking dumb.
He's not. They found that to be fake today.
Mhm.
He's not?
He's not. They called ASU and they found that he lied about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
he
And
already
his
lied on
crocodile
the stand.
tears.
He already lied on the stand.
Yeah,
Okay.
they caught him twice already.
The EMT thing, and then I guess the
The
nursing
nursing
thing now.
thing was
But
a lie,
she's
yeah.
that's a bad parent to put, you're going to let your kid go with an AR-15 into a fucking potential riot? What are you thinking?
Another point that I want to make too, that like I'm getting so sick of listening to him, like we're talking about his crying, and yeah, I believe they're crocodile tears too, because it's like he's sitting there crying saying he was afraid for his life. He was the only guy who showed up to the protest with a gun. You're the one with the gun. How are you the fucking one that's afraid?
I've always said, every time we bring up guns, is I had a concealed permit. I've had guns, but
what else?
putting yourself in the situation, I rarely kept it on me because I'm like, what situation would I have that this gun will make it better?
All those phrases? Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Like the guy with the gun is always the winner. Why are you the one fucking crying? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
And sitting there saying that you're all afraid. You're the one with the biggest fucking tool there, dude. What? I thought that was supposed to. I thought that guns were supposed to provide like masculinity, power. I would have no fear. Like, I thought that that's what we've been told. Like, that's why we're all supposed to start arming up, because we need to defend what's ours. And the only way you can do it is with a gun. Am I alone? I mean, Isn't that what America teaches us?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
All right.
Huh? Why are you so afraid, Kyle?
All right.
He's
So
not.
just to keep it light, though, they're already writing songs about Kyle's mom.
Yes, Mom's big fat bitch.
Well,
I only knew when
how
it was
did you
gonna
ruin
be-
the joke?
because I'm like the biggest Eric Cartman fan on the planet. That's
How is it like a parent? Well, okay, so for example, here in Arizona, this was all the news. A black woman had her child at home. She decided to have a home birth. Takes the baby, brand new baby, to the hospital to get the vitamin K shot, correct? They denied her because she didn't have the baby in the hospital. So they called DCS and consider it as child neglect, and they took her baby. How is it Kyle's mom is not in trouble for allowing him to have this weapon and letting him go over state lines? No child neglect charges, no CPS reports filed.
When at
How?
the same time they'll claim, oh, there's a violent situation. Oh, it must be the video game.
Yeah.
No, you had an actual gun. I don't know. We don't solve anything here and whatever.
We just bitch about
Yeah,
it.
but
it helps us at least, like it's therapy.
to just
Yeah,
touch on the Astroworld Festival again.
Oh God,
Right.
that stuff.
Okay, Travis Scott. Scott. Now I don't blame him for this. He goes to Dave and Buster's afterwards. He's partying when he gets the call about what happened. Now I've been to concerts. I think I said this on the last podcast.
He knew what was going
Yeah,
on.
well, isn't there cases of him like inciting riots at his
Yeah,
concerts?
not only that, like he stopped the show for like maybe there's a video. He stopped the show for a minute just before he brought Dre out, and he's like, security, come get this guy up front. He's fainting. As soon as security gets that guy, knowing there's thousands of people out there, and it's like a good hike to get to the ambulance that was already there. He starts his show back up, and what do everybody do? Crowd back together. The dude died before the security guard could even get him there. And he's in the past stopped his entire show for losing his boot in the crowd and would not start the show until he had his boot back. Negligence. He was completely negligent.
That
Yeah.
boot was probably like $1,000.
Right,
Who
yeah.
could blame
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
him?
but
Just, like, I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like-
well, and it's not like they knew. There was people coming up on stage telling the producers and the cameramen, there's people dying, They talk on,
yeah,
I know.
they're
Yeah.
talking about it. They didn't care. They didn't stop the show.
They've got it all.
He
yeah.
knew it was happening.
Yeah, there was
too many
an
people crowded in the
there was an
place.
Avenged
He's just
Sevenfold.
doing damage control now. Like, I feel horrible.
There was an Avenged Sevenfold show a few years ago that somebody was crowd surfing and they fell, broke their back. They stopped the show. The crowd parted. The ambulance got in, took him out, and they only had time to come out and do 2 more songs. Just stopped the show. I mean, Slipknot. There was a fire on the lawn here in Phoenix. They stopped the show for a half an hour to put out
And
the
these
fire.
are rock, like metal concerts.
How many times have you seen like
I know.
there's footage of like Dave Grohl stopping a show because he sees a fight in the crowd?
Yeah, or
and-
Lincoln Park, they stopped a show because some girl was getting groped and she was saying no. Like, you can't
Like-
stop the show. People are dying.
Yeah, when did they start, like, moshing and stuff at rap concerts?
They don't.
I
They
don't-
were
It's-
so
it's-
tightly in the
Oh,
small
he
space.
What-
just wanted
what-
them to
Yeah.
crowd in together.
what happens, because
Okay.
I've been in these concerts before, is you have the assholes in the back. They want to get down front, so they're pushing in front, hoping to part you so they can get close to the stage. Now, when that happens, it all compresses. So you're getting pushed from behind, and then you're pushing the person before you, in front of you. So you start pushing backwards, and you're also pushing back against the asshole that's pushing you, like motherfucker, I'm-"
Right.
you know. And that's what happens. And it gets to a situation where I've been to concerts where I've been picked off my feet, and you just literally go how the
Float.
crowd
It's
goes.
gonna have to-
Yeah.
Now we're at concerts, we're just gonna be like, everyone's gonna get in their tube, and then we're
Have
just
you-
gonna go into a
There's a lot of conspiracies going around about it though, like about demonic and stuff, and where there's a lot of symbolism of demonic stuff, and you shouldn't play with that kind of thing. I don't think that he purposely wanted people to die.
No, I don't
I-
either.
That's a
No,
little
no, no,
outlandish, you know?
no, he didn't.
No.
And but a couple more
I
things.
don't think he knew what
They
what
don't know-
happened.
they don't
know
I don't
what
think
they're
he knew
doing.
how bad it could
Yeah.
get.
A couple
Yeah.
more
You know?
things about that, though. There was footage of people that broke through the VIP section and rushed the stage. They didn't have tickets. They just realized they could get through that area. With the facial recognition territory or technology that we have now, you should find those people, prosecute those people because they contribute to the problem.
They're probably all on Facebook.
Yeah.
They could, and Facebook brags about how it, it came up with the tagging thing.
Now,
like,
in the promotion for this concert, and these concerts take a festival of the size. It takes a year to do this. I'm a pretty good expert on this shit. It takes a year to put this shit together. In the meetings beforehand, they were saying if somebody dies in the crowd on the radio, you're not supposed to refer to them as deceased. You're supposed to refer to them as Smurfs. So they were aware in the planning of this concert that potentially this could happen.
because they turn blue, or
Yes.
They can't breathe.
Oh, geez.
So a girl on TikTok explained how it was and how they were able to wiggle out of the crowd. She says you couldn't breathe. That there were so many people pushing together, and
Right.
her and her husband were able to wiggle out the side.
Well, but yeah, I mean, that's the secret. If we're going to do concert safety here, and I know that for this fact, I don't go to the middle. If I want to be down
You
front,
go on the sides.
I go to the side. And you can get a lot closer. You lose sort of the angle to the stage, but you're closer. But also, if something happens, I also realize, because we're going to tell this story in a few weeks at Woodstock, I stayed off to the side, and when shit started going down at Woodstock, that's how I got out.
Yeah, you have a way to get out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. That whole thing was crazy.
All right, so I guess we got on politics more than we wanted to. But we were talking about hypocrisy, and that goes both ways. Hypocrisy on the left and the right. Hey, you got to understand, where other people are coming from. Like the Kyle Rittenhouse, I sort of see some of this shit where it could have been self-defense. But, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it comes down to I don't think a 17-year-old in the AR-15 is smart enough to make these decisions.
And you should definitely be charged for the first person that he targeted and shot.
Yeah, and
At least.
the mom should get charged
At
too.
least.
Yeah. So
I hope she gets charged.
Well, she drove the getaway
She's-
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the cops just let him walk right by them after. Like, he walked literally into the cops that were coming in. He's like, yeah, I shot these people. And they're like, okay, pat him on the back. And he just walks away.
Well, and then too, he's like a hero in the white supremacist community. Like, they were talking about how he
He's an
was
American
hanging
hero.
out with all the Proud Boys and whatnot. And this is after, months after all this happened, and they're the ones
yeah,
that
he
funded his bail or his bond.
yeah,
or whatever.
he was like had some T-shirt on that says "Still Free" or something like
And
that.
he was doing the whatever the white power sign is.
the OK
Yeah.
symbol.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, so I'll wrap this one up, and we're gonna be doing a lot of these because we're probably taking a little time off for the holidays and just give it a rest, recharge our batteries. But
And we like splitting up the podcast, so we
Yeah.
have mini podcasts too.
But we have a lot of good shit coming up down the pipeline here really soon. So anyway, we will not see you next week. See you in a few days while we're doing another one of these.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.